you mind me asking how much you owe?
It's considerable.
Millions?
Many millions.
Where do you live now?
Well, it's funny you asked that question. My house is being sold at auction.
Really?
So I have to go back to Baltimore and put all my things in storage.
Why is it being foreclosed?
Because I can't pay the bills that I owe.
It's not uncommon to hear about a celebrity reaching the point of filing for bankruptcy, but Kevin Spacey's case is special for a lot of reasons. Apart from the small fact that he was worth around $100 million, as of 2017, the details surrounding him becoming broke is where the big questions are, and being live on air wasn't enough to stop him from breaking into tears. Today, and over the past 2 days, Spacey's name has been all over social media, following his recent appearance with Piers Morgan, where the actor laid the current conditions of his life as bare as he could. For those who may be lost in all of this, if you've seen the show House of Cards, he was probably your favorite actor there. While it was a major success, it was only one of many projects that launched the actor into fame and fortune. These days, Spacey can't even boast of a home in the city that made him. However, as was mentioned earlier, Spacey's case is far from the norm in Hollywood. Apart from having an excessively expensive lifestyle and habits that many would consider questionable, Spacey has now become the face of what the #MeToo movement believes to be everything that is wrong with humanity. This makes up the other half of why everyone's talking about his current financial situation.
In the entertainment industry,
I heard about Harvey and Gwyneth and the bathrobe at the Peninsula, etc. I hadn't heard about incidents involving Kevin until it happened to me.
Like we saw with Harvey Weinstein and rapper Diddy's case, people in the entertainment industry may not appear as contentious as they really are, and this context might also apply to Kevin Spacey. As with the other big shots mentioned earlier, it seems Spacey might have also inappropriately handled some people, but this isn't even recent news. Since as far back as 2019, the established actor has been caught up in accusations of being far from ideal, with the claims against him spanning across both men and women. The stories are compelling, enough to have made him rack up legal fees to the point he was in tears on live TV. Still, the man has claimed that none of the stories being peddled about him are even remotely close to the truth. But you don't really get the whole picture of this till you see the timeline of events for yourself.
What's your idea of bad behavior when you look back at what you were doing?
Pushing the boundaries.
In what way? I mean,
being too handsy, you know, touching someone.
As one of Hollywood's most successful acts, Kevin Spacey made it to a point in his career where the mention of his name alone was enough to open doors for upcoming acts. I mean, that's the bare minimum for a man with 2 Academy Awards, but it seems using that name might have come at the cost of their innocence. We're not referring to one victim, as if that isn't already bad enough, but a plethora of them, enough to put Spacey on the radar of the #MeToo movement. However, there's still so much more to this man's story, which is exactly what landed him on Piers Morgan's show. Per the reports, Kevin Spacey fought back tears during an interview on Piers Morgan Uncensored, in which he revealed his house has been foreclosed on as he owes many millions of dollars in legal fees from his misconduct trials.
There was a frenzy in Hollywood. Suddenly you're facing a trial where someone may take your liberty away for years. And how does that feel?
My goal is now to prove that I'm a man of good character.
Piers Morgan asked the actor where he lives, to which Spacey said he no longer has a permanent home and barely has any money left to his name. It's funny you asked that question because this week, where I have been living in Baltimore, is being foreclosed on. My house is being sold at auction, so I have to go back to Baltimore and put my things in storage, Spacey said. So the answer to that question is, I'm not sure where I am going to live now, but I've been in Baltimore since we started shooting House of Cards there. I moved there in 2012. This house has been my home since 2016. I can't pay the bills that I owe, he continued.
Where do you live now?
Well, it's funny you asked that question. my house is being sold at auction.
Really?
So I have to go back to Baltimore and put all my things in storage.
More tears followed when Spacey was asked if he was facing bankruptcy, to which he answered that although he thought about it in the past, he never had cause to reach the point of filing until days back.
Facing bankruptcy?
Been a couple of times when I thought I was going to file.
When asked how much money he has today, Spacey said he has none, adding, "You have some sense of legal bills. I still owe a lot. Yes, I am in debt. It's considerable, many millions. The house itself is many millions."
How much money do you have?
None.
Do you mind me asking how much you owe?
It's considerable.
Since claims of Spacey's alleged SA and inappropriate behavior first arose in the wake of the #MeToo movement in 2017, several legal cases have been brought against the two-time Oscar winner. In 2022, a jury in New York concluded that he did not actor Anthony Rapp, who had accused him of SA in the early 1980s when Rapp was 14. The next year, a UK court found Spacey not guilty of 9 charges of SA from 4 complainants. Several other charges and lawsuits have been dropped. Spacey has denied all the allegations. A 2-part documentary titled Spacey Unmasked recently aired in the UK and is now streaming on Max and features previously unheard of testimonies about Spacey's alleged misconduct, including a claim that he allegedly groped another House of Cards actor on set. Quick FYI, Spacey was fired from the show by Netflix in 2017 due to alleged inappropriate behavior on set. "We had a really remarkable relationship, and there's no doubt that House of Cards really put them on the map," Spacey told Morgan about his firing. "Even though they made the decision they made, which I think was a strange decision, it was a wrong decision. It was wrong for them as a company. It put them in a position where then anyone who was accused of anything, they had to respond in a similar way." Netflix continued with House of Cards for a 6th and final season without Spacey's involvement. His co-star Robin Wright became the sole lead of the series. Spacey told Morgan he's never once heard from Wright since allegations against him first went public in the fall of 2017. "I haven't heard from Robin since September or October 2017, he said. "I understand, I do. I think by distancing herself from me, it allowed her to not have to answer a lot of questions."
How supportive was your co-star?
I haven't heard from Robin.
At all?
No.
Nothing?
Spacey continues to deny all of the allegations made against him, including those in the documentary. Speaking to The Telegraph in May, he claimed he had been the victim of a rush to judgment. In the same article, several prominent celebrities, including Sharon Stone and Liam Neeson, defended Spacey. Neeson claimed the industry needs him and misses him greatly. Oscar winner F. Murray Abraham called Spacey's detractors vultures, while Stephen Fry characterized his offenses as clumsy and inappropriate, but implied they were nowhere near the type of behavior of disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. Best-selling author Peter Attia also recently joined the list of public figures trying to rehabilitate Spacey's image. Spacey, who continues to enjoy a positive reception in Britain because of his long association with London's Old Vic Theatre, during his interview with Morgan in which he cried, confessed to getting handsy, and framed his behavior as pushing the boundaries.
A double Oscar winner is using all that to seduce someone. You accept that?
I can understand that perspective. Pushing the boundaries, being too handsy.
He depicted himself as having failed to understand when his advances were unwanted, while denying more serious accusations of and non-consensual misconduct. However, the portrait painted by the allegations against him is suggestive of an aggressive, volatile, repeat ASP who frequently physically intimidates his targets, manipulates them into being alone with him, and uses his power and promises of career advancement as bait. Since Rapp came forward in 2017, numerous other allegations against Spacey have surfaced. more than 50 men have made extremely consistent claims against the actor. Many of Spacey's accusers describe witnessing or experiencing behavior from the actor that, like that of Weinstein, involved using the lure of his success and the opportunity of career mentorship to put himself in a position where he could prey on young men.
And I hope that everyone who's dealing with these sorts of situations does feel the courage to come forward.
Taken together, the allegations suggest a pattern of escalating physical contact and aggression, the consistent presence of alcohol, and Spacey making a habit of cornering his victims to confront them. The allegations against Spacey are so numerous, spanning multiple decades and continents, that it's difficult to track them all. Additionally, some of the allegations have even been alleged to overlap due to the confidential nature of police investigations. Still, they represent an undeniable pattern of behavior on Spacey's part.
It's not so much about, are any of the allegations not true? I believe the really haunting question is, what if all of them are true?
In the Channel 4 documentary Spacey Unmasked, a man named Greg, who was a year behind Spacey at Chatsworth High School in Los Angeles, alleged that Spacey S.'ed him when Spacey was 17. While Greg was driving them both to a party and Spacey was sitting next to him in the passenger seat, Spacey allegedly grabbed Greg's genitals. It was a very aggressive S move, Greg recalled. Greg also claimed that he felt trapped because of the circumstances. He says Spacey later begged him not to tell anyone what happened. While it may have been his first on-record attack, it seemed to have given him a boost as he got more brazen from that point because the next one was so much worse. On November 10th, 2017, USA Today reported that Andy Holtzman, then 27, was working at New York's Public Theater when Spacey, then 22, allegedly entered his office and wordlessly assaulted him. It was so out of place, so sudden, Holtzman said. It was the wordlessness of it. He never spoke to me throughout, not one word. I was saying things, he was saying nothing. Holtzman claimed that Spacey silently entered, sat down, then stood up and cornered him, attacking him with more than a grope. He was up and all over me. When I was finally able to push him off and scream at him, he theatrically stepped back, incredibly angry, grabbed his coat and bag, stormed out, and slammed the door. Holtzman's allegation is the first on the public record of many that characterize Spacey as extremely persistent during the assaults, and extremely angry if he was rejected. Holtzman later testified in the 2022 civil case brought by Rapp against Spacey. Here he told jurors that Spacey lifted me up by my crotch and pushed me back onto my desk during the 1981 incident. Spacey denied Holtzman's allegation. Holtzman's allegations were later included in the documentary Spacey Unmasked. He described the alleged occurrence as completely out of the blue and added that there was nothing but force, physical force. 5 years down the line, and a couple of other tossed allegations, Spacey seemed to have a change in taste for his depravities. Though Edwards is an outlier in the list in terms of gender, her alleged experience has commonalities with several of the other allegations. When London performing arts teacher Kate Edwards was 17, she worked as a production assistant for the 1986 Broadway revival of Long Day's Journey into Night, in which Spacey starred alongside his longtime idol Jack Lemmon. Edwards alleged to the BBC that Spacey, then 27, invited her up to his flat for an apparently non-existent party where he kissed her. When it became clear he wanted S, she made her excuses about wanting to leave, alleging that he then became cold and told her to find her own way home. Edwards said that Spacey subsequently cut her dead after the encounter, telling the BBC that she became depressed and eventually had to quit the show because of how confused, completely isolated, ashamed she felt over the incident. As it would turn out, that was one of many work-related incidents the actor had in the United Kingdom, which brings us to the infamous Old Vic story. Spacey's involvement with London's Old Vic Theatre began in the mid-90s, and the theater would go on to serve as the site for 20 accusations. He served as the theater's artistic director from 2004 to 2015. In 2017, after the initial allegations against Spacey came to light, the Old Vic set up a confidential email to receive tips and reports about the actor. Multiple allegations concerning Spacey's behavior while at the Old Vic quickly surfaced. On November 16, 2017, the Old Vic announced that it had received 20 personal testimonies through its investigation into Spacey. These claims reportedly ranged from behavior that made people feel uncomfortable all the way through to inappropriate behavior. The claims span 1995 through 2013, with most occurring before 2009. All of the claims involved young men, all of whom were over the age of 18 at the time of the alleged incidents. During his tenure, Spacey hosted workshops for new and rising artists. In the documentary Spacey Unmasked, an aspiring actor named Tim alleged that Spacey used one such workshop to openly and publicly touch multiple performers. Tim alleged that Spacey first touched his hand, then hugged one performer quite aggressively. When the time came for Tim to read his part of the scene, Tim alleged that Spacey grabbed both of his arms and pressed his full body against Tim. Tim speculated that the entire workshop was a false pretense to provide Spacey with a hunting ground for who to flirt with next. Mexican actor Robert Cavazos alleged in a 2017 Facebook post that Spacey touched him inappropriately numerous times and said that Spacey would frequently grope men while hanging out at the Old Vic's bar. It appears that all that was needed was a male under the age of 30 for Mr. Spacey to feel free to touch us, Cavazos wrote. It was so common that it turned into a local joke in very bad taste. The Associated Press reported that the Old Vic had urged 14 of the 20 respondents to go to the police with their allegations, but couldn't confirm whether any of them had done so. In 2022, the Crown brought multiple charges against Spacey. In a UK criminal trial in 2023, a jury acquitted Spacey on 9 different counts of assaulting 4 different men. Beyond this, there were several other accusations against him, including stories of attacks against high-profile figures like the teenage son of journalist Heather Unruh, as well as his other co-stars from House of Cards. Nonetheless, Spacey has continually denied nearly all of the allegations against him, while creating the impression that some of the alleged encounters are simply fumbling or socially awkward misunderstandings. He came out as gay in response to Rapp's initial allegations, which many people saw as an attempt at deflection, and subsequently remained defiant as the litany of accusations piled up. Then there was the bizarre 2018 video in which he role-played his former House of Cards character Frank Underwood. In language that recalls several of the more disturbing allegations of non-consensual physical A made against Spacey, the actor seems to tell the audience that he's making a comeback regardless of what they say they want. We're not done no matter what anyone says, and besides, I know what you want me back.
So we're not done no matter what anyone says. And besides, I know what you want. You want me back.
Spacey released more distasteful videos each subsequent year through 2021, then returned in 2023 alongside Tucker Carlson. In the latest video, he claimed that the allegations against him had been proven false. Spacey is far from the only alleged in Hollywood, or the only one who's led a successful career despite his behavior apparently being an open secret. And while some of the most powerful men in the industry, including Weinstein and former CBS head Les Moonves, have seen their careers topple, others remain largely unscathed by allegations against them. Spacey's repeated diminishment of the high number of allegations against him suggests that he has yet to fully accept either the reality of his own actions or any responsibility for the harm he has allegedly caused. And despite the overwhelming number of people who've spoken out against him, he seems to feel entitled to a comeback. I mean, why else would he be in tears on Piers Morgan's show? But regardless, it's certain fans aren't falling for it. One person wrote, "His acting ability is sublime as usual. The difference is this time it's not in a movie, so it's not going to work. This isn't the last of Spacey's case we'll see in the media, but until further details, we wait. That's it. Goodbye."